So I like a bit of a lie-in, especially on a Sunday. And I'm fast asleep last Sunday morning, absolutely flat out. I've got in at 2 o'clock, and I'm fast asleep. And all of a sudden, 6 o'clock, the bedroom door flings open, and I hear racing across the bedroom, and then they leap. They don't climb, do they? They leap on top of me, on the bed. And Alfie starts shaking me, Grandpa, Grandpa, Grandpa. Grandpa, wake up, Grandpa. What? Grandpa, wake up and make a sound like a frog. What? He said, Grandpa, wake up and make a sound like a frog. And I said, okay. I said, I'll wake up. I said, make a sound like a frog. He said, yeah, Grandpa, make a sound like a frog. I said, why? He said, because Mum says when you croak, we can all go to Florida. I went to pick him up from school a couple of weeks ago. He got in the car. He comes out before, they come out different years, don't they? Come out at different times. And he got in the car. He said, Grandpa, I said, what? He said, do you know what we've done at school today? I said, no, what? He said, we've learned how to make babies. 5. I said, what? He said, we've learned how to make babies, Grandpa. I said, have you? He said, yes. He said, do you know how to make babies? I said, yes. He said, do you want me to tell you how we've been told how to make babies, or do you want to tell me how you make babies? I said, you tell me how you've been told to make babies. He said, okay. He said, it's really easy. I said, is it? He said, yes. I said, why? What do you do? He said, you take off the Y and you add I-E-S. Anybody celebrating the wedding anniversary? No? We just celebrated our wedding anniversary. 10 years happy marriage. Been married for 30, but 10 of them were happy. Not bad, eh? Pearl wedding. Special. So I thought, well, we had better make the effort. It's really hard, though, after 30 years, isn't it? It's really hard to... First of all, what do you write in the card? Isn't it? It's hard. So I put, happy anniversary. Please see last year's card for full details. Oh, she wasn't happy. She wasn't happy. And then I thought, oh, I've got to do something. So I said, what would you like to do? Where would you like to go? She said, take me somewhere expensive. So I took her to the petrol station. Cost a fortune, didn't it? She wasn't happy. So I decided to take her out for tea and biscuits. Yeah, she'd not given blood before. But then I thought it was time to be romantic. Any more romantic men in the room? Any more romantic men in the room? No, I said romantic, so not romantic. Oh. So do you know what I did? I thought, here we go. What should I do? I'll recreate our first date. You meant to go, oh, how romantic is that? And I couldn't believe it. We met a little place. It's now called Burrs Country Park. But in those days, there was a mill there, a big mill, and some cottages, and a cobble street. The cobble street's still there, and the cottages are still there, but they're now luxury apartments. And so we wandered down the cobbles, down to the Oval, where we used to do our courting. And I couldn't believe it. The courting spot where we used to go was still there, untouched. It was just the same as it had been 30 years before. Little patch of grass where we used to sit. And the tree where we used to shelter, because it used to rain occasionally in Bury. Usually when there was a Y in the day of the week. And then I spotted the fence. The fence. You know what I mean? Where I'd first propped her up and shown her how much I loved her. And I thought, oh, 30 years on, so I leaned her gently against the fence for old time's sake. And I gave her a little kiss. I went, and she went, woohoo! I thought, blimey. So I gave her another little kiss. I went, and she went, woohoo! I thought, blimey, this is good. Get stuck in, dip your bread, here we go. And I made love to her against the fence like we had done 30 years before. She went wild. She was screaming and scratching me back. I couldn't believe it. I said, you weren't like this 30 years ago. She said this fence wasn't electrified 30 years ago. And then I took her to the Taj Mahal. Not the one in India, the one on Deansgate. Anybody like Indian? Like Indian food? It's very nice. I had a tandoori tarka. Anybody had a tandoori tarka? No, it's just like a tandoori chicken. It's just a little hotter. Oh! Hey, you're listening. I like that, you're listening. So we were sat there, gazing at one another, across the top of the poppadoms. And obviously full of love. And there was another couple at the side of us. There was a couple doing exactly the same at the side of us. They were obviously deeply in love. But all of a sudden, the woman from this other couple, she just went, and she slid under the table. I couldn't believe it. I thought, wow. And she just went, like that. So I sat there for a minute, nibbling me now. And, behave. And then I leaned across, I said to the guy, I said, excuse me. He said, what? I said, your wife? I said, your wife has slipped under the table. He said, no, my wife's just coming through the door. Have you ever taken the time and trouble to read the labels on cans or products that you get? Anybody do that? Do you check for the salt? Yeah, fat content? Oh, you don't. You just put it in. I like that, like that, like that. Thank you very much. You should read the labels. Everybody see those? It's a tin of John West sardines. Yes? And true enough, on the back, warning, may contain no fish. Fish! Well, I would never have guessed that. Sardines. Fish. Fancy that. It gets better. You think I'm joking, don't you? Think I'm not joking? This will alter the way you shop forever. Right, next. Here we have a bottle of Tixilix. Do we all know what Tixilix is? It's toddler syrup. It soothes and relieves dry, tickly coughs. And it says here quite clearly, it's for children 3 months to 3 years. It's sugar-free, colour-free. And it's blackcurrant flavour. Very nice. Then it says, warning, do not drive or operate heavy machinery Now, I know kids are a lot further advanced than we think. Imagine 3-year-old, Dad, can I borrow the car keys? I want to go to nursery. He'll be at it tomorrow, hasn't he? One of these cost my best mate 2 months in hospital. It's Heinz treacle sponge pudding. They're lovely, aren't they? They're lovely. He read the label. It said peach lid and stand in boiling water. He did, he burnt all his feet. What a mess. What's the other thing that annoys you? It's the checkouts. See, they drive. Does anybody go to them self-checkouts? They drive me. They don't work, do they? Yeah. No, they don't. They never work for me. They always say, unexpected item in bagging area. Assistance required. Bottle of whiskey. Proof of age. Proof of age? Look at me. They never work. Now the evening has come to a close, and I've had my last dance with you. Onto the empty streets we go, and it might be my last chance with you. So I might as well get it over, for the things I have to say won't wait until another day. You're a lady and I'm a man. You're supposed to understand how these things are often planned to be. You're pure magic on my chain. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, and I said, with no restraint, be mine. Be mine. Have you had a good night? Yes. Thank you for staying. I think some others must have been a bit tired. That's what I'm going to put it down to. They must have bought the Horlicks from reception. And they all bugger off at 10 o'clock when you're halfway through your act. But it's not surprising. The shearings, 5 o'clock on a Monday morning, some of them start out. 5 o'clock they get picked up. They get taken here and taken there. At 9 o'clock they're just passing the end of the road where they live. 4 hours they've been going. Bless them. Oh, and they go to bed early on a Thursday because they've got to put the cases out at 7 o'clock. It's terrible, really. It's true though. Anybody been on a shearings coach holiday? I'm not wrong, am I? I'm not wrong, am I? Oh, it's fine. I was at Windermere. I always remember Windermere, and they chatting like I normally do. And I said, "This couple, where are you from?" They said, "Skipton." Skipton is 32 miles away from Windermere. Oh, I said, "Self-drive?" They said, "No." Oh, I said, "Have you, come on local transport?" They said, "No, we've come on the coach." I said, "You've come on the coach?" He said, "Yes, it's took us 9 hours." 9 hours! It's true, absolutely true. So if you're ever considering getting on the coach, think carefully. But I do hope you've had a great night. It's I enjoy it. There's a friend of mine who does exactly the same as this, and he's not married now. He used to be married, but now he's not married. But he stayed in a hotel one night. We stay in a lot of hotels, and he got a bit lonely, as they do sometimes in the hotel. So he thought, I'll go and walk, because apparently in London there's phone boxes, and in the phone boxes there's little cards from people who want to have a bit of company. Usually young ladies, so there's a lot of lonely young ladies in London, and he felt very sorry for them. So he went into the phone boxes, he took one of these cards and scampered back to the hotel and thought, oh. So he picked up the phone, this voice went, "Hello." He thought, oh, she sounds nice. He said, "I'm in room 36. He said, would you like to come to my hotel, wear something sexy, and we can have a bit of fun?" And the voice said, "You need to dial 9 for an outside line, sir." And now, the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friends, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. Yes, there were times, oh, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, well, I ate it up and spat it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall, and did it my way. It's been a really super night. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the rest of the weekend. Whatever you're doing, keep a smile on your face. Treat people how you would like to be treated. And remember, laughter is the best medicine. Unless you've got diabetes, and then insulin works so much better. I did it my